Hello, my name's Bruce. This is my channel. Thank you very much for watching, or starting to watch. If you're just going to start and end, that's fine too. Anyway, yeah, this is my channel. Please subscribe. I said that, I say this all the time, but everyone says it. It seems to be a kind of a tradition with these videos that people say, please subscribe. So I'm saying, please subscribe. Notwithstanding that, let's get to the heart of the matter here. The heart of the matter. Okay. An earlier video, I had talked about a cabinet shuffle in the province of Ontario. I'd mentioned that they'd take the Minister of Energy. The province of Ontario is a province in Canada. This stuff applies universally, I think, but I'm talking about the province of Ontario and the province in Canada. So, it's raining. I'm getting rained on. I'm here. I'm in my forest. That's it. Okay, so I'm getting rained on. We're talking about the cabinet shuffle, the province of Ontario. The Minister of Energy became the Minister of Education. The Minister of Education became the Minister of Energy. And then, lo and behold, shortly thereafter, the Minister of Education, who had been the Minister of Energy, who had as his resume to qualify this person for being the Minister of Energy, he had been a radio talk show host for a number of years. And I said before that there's nothing that qualifies one for being the Minister of Energy and spending literally tens or hundreds of billions of dollars of taxpayer money than being a radio talk show host. Okay. Anyway, that guy. Shortly thereafter, he announced a sudden departure where he was going to take a position, a job, in the private sector. There was no mention of what that job was, but it's in the private sector. He's no longer in the government. He'll not be a cabinet member. He's not running for re-election, I do not believe. There you go. Now, the thing about this is that if I were the Minister of Energy and I were responsible for making the final deciders on, well, the final deciders are Premier, right? The Premier, but ad idem, of one mind aligned, and if I were the Minister of Energy, while I was making these decisions and assigning contracts and procurements and such to various entities and having a little bit of it, at the least, éminence grise. Éminence grise is a French word. It means gray coat. The person that's wearing the gray coat standing off the side telling you what to do. Anyway, I'd make all sorts of contacts and friends and arrangements and such, and I'd have a fairly comfortable parachute for where I decided that I no longer wanted to be a member of the government and wanted to pursue a private job there. Anyway, okay, that happened. That guy left. Then, and if you've been following these videos, I had a little bit of a talk about how energy is really important. And what's really, really, really important is electrical energy. And why electrical energy is important is because it's important that we not have combustion. The way you not have combustion is by having electrical energy. And then I made a discussion about opportunity cost and the relative expense and how governments don't really spend money, but you have to keep score somehow. So anyway, on this. So this new guy, the new Minister of Energy, shortly thereafter, he said, we're going to build wind turbines. Now remember, I don't expect that everyone watches all these videos in every detail, but I like to think in my imagination that people do. But I'm a realist. I know people don't. That's okay. Anyway, so in the discussion of nuclear energy in the province of Ontario, or nuclear energy anywhere, I have been saying that if you own nuclear plants, go ahead, maintain them, keep them running, they're great. There's no real safety concern with nuclear beyond any safety concern that you're going to have with most other things, but, you know, the number of people that have met their ends in workplace incidents or fatalities as a result of nuclear is dramatically low, dramatically low, like so low as to be almost not worth mentioning, but still a human life is tremendously important. Okay. And I said that if we're gonna, there's a refurbishment of a nuclear plant in Ontario, and then the government is kind of secretly, not secret, but they're not talking about it, they're building a new one, they say they're going to build a small modular reactor. And the French in France, they had been building a small modular reactor, and then after a couple of years they said, you know what, this is crazy, there's nothing small, or there's nothing modular, there's nothing anything about it, this is a really dumb idea, and it's costing a tremendous amount of money that we would be better off spending elsewhere. And I had been saying, hey, I mean, if you want to build nuclear plants, build something else, please, or do an and. So the and is wind and solar. And let's talk about some numbers here. And I have good news. Okay, numbers. Okay, and we're gonna pretend that this will work. I don't think it will, but we'll pretend that it will. Here, we're gonna talk about USA. Congratulations, United States, for a tremendously successful Olympic Games. Many of those performances were uplifting and heartwarming, I must say. USA. So, in the first half of 2024, the United States of America has added generating capacity, electrical generating capacity to the nation to the tune of 20,000 megawatts. 20,000 additional megawatts in the first half of 2024. And most people are going to say, yeah, well, what does that mean? Well, 20,000 megawatts is enough electricity for like approximately 20 million houses. Okay, put it in houses. Or maybe round it out, be conservative and say 10 million houses. That's quite a bit. Now, this electrical energy the United States has added has come largely from solar generation. Why? Because solar is the most cost-effective manner of adding additional electrical generation right now, period, full stop, and until we come to the dilithium. Oh, that's science fiction, it's nonsense, it's Star Trek. But solar is good, okay? Photovoltaics are very, 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 very good, and they're tremendously economical. That's why most of this additional 20,000 megawatts that's been added in the United States has come from solar. So there's been, right up here, solar. It's been about something like maybe 5 GW, which is 5,000 megawatts. Then there's been wind, number like approximately the same. Wind, battery storage, batteries, approximately the same. And then nuclear. Okay, United States, nuclear, energy, all right? There's a thing called the Vogtle reactor. It exists, I think it's in Pennsylvania. It doesn't matter, but a long time ago, approximately 20 years ago, someone came up with a genius plan that, okay, we should expand the Vogtle reactor. All right, we're going to add, let's call them something. Let's call them Unit 3 and Unit 4. They already had Unit 1 and Unit 2, so let's add Unit 3 and Unit 4. So they added Unit 3 and Unit 4. Now, if you're watching this video and you happen to be the world's greatest expert on the Vogtle reactor, by all means, please leave a comment while you're subscribing. Anyway, Unit 3 and Unit 4. So Unit 3 and Unit 4 have recently come online now, like effectively now, about April or something like that. And that's what makes up some of this 20,000 megawatts. They're counting that. And the point is that how much, because I'm going to measure it in dollars because that's what humans do, although it's kind of unrelated to government expenditure, but we're going to measure it in dollars. And how much did that cost? Well, the whisper number is $20 billion, except that the real number is more than that. And how long did it take? Well, Well, if we go back to sometime around 2006, about 18 years ago, and before then, but somewhere around then, but it was before then, construction, design, etc. began on the new units at the Vogtle reactor, and now here we are, 2024. No secrets there, and they've come online. So call that 20 years. It's taken 20 years to build those reactors. How long does it take to add a megawatt of solar? Well, you can do it in a weekend. Okay. And how much is the cost overrun going to be? It depends on how much beer you got to buy for the guys while they're working. That's a kind of a joke, but it's not that. That's a little bit of a joke, but it's not that far from the truth. Okay. So, at the Vogtle reactor. Now, in the province of Ontario, they're building these new small modular reactors, which are, there's nothing small about them, there's nothing modular about them, and goodness gracious, be a long time before you're getting any reaction out of them. So the important thing is the opportunity cost. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up for a second. I'm going to talk about something known as the walk down. Okay, the walk down means when you started off, you know, when I say to someone, hey, I'm going to eat 150 eggs, and then it's like, well, ain't nobody eat that many eggs, correct? And then I say, well, you know, I'm going to eat them over the span of a week. Okay, well, maybe that's 20 eggs a day, maybe. Then I say, yeah, but they're going to be small Cadbury Easter cream eggs, the miniature ones. Okay, well, all right. And then, what did I say? I was going to eat 60 of them, 100 of them? No, let's just call it let's have 6 and call it done. Okay, that's called a walk down, where you start off with puffery and you go, So, in the province of Ontario, we've had a cabinet shuffle. Those two guys switched, and that gave cover for the former Minister of Energy to go off and enter the private sector. I'm sure he'll be very valuable. Maybe there's a company that they've done business with that's looking for a host, a radio host, or maybe someone that's going to be one of those NC jobs. Anyway, okay, then we had the new Minister of Energy. He's gone from nuclears to, well, about those solar, those wind turbines. Now, the current government of Ontario, the Premier of Ontario, ran on a platform of no wind, no wind, wind is bad. But he got elected. And now we are a number of years later, and now it's like, well, wait a second, let's get some of this wind going. The reason why that wins, why there's why it's in the offing, why there's an inkling that it may happen, is because people aren't dumb. Human beings are remarkably resilient and remarkably intelligent and remarkably a lot of things. And so when something's working, even though it's not what your crazy uncle said you should do, you tend to gravitate in that direction. When something's of value, you tend to gravitate in that direction. When something is a fiasco, you tend to shy away from that. So hopefully we're watching the walk down. We're going to walk it back from nuclear. We're going to walk it towards wind and solar and renewables and battery storage and a bunch of things that are far dramatically more economical and make more sense. And I'm here, and I am being rained upon. Now, congratulations to the United States. Oh, this 20,000 megawatt thing, that's a big deal. The reason why is because, can I go over here? Can you see this? It's because in Ontario, let's put this in perspective. Now remember, the United States, 20,000 megawatts, which is 20 gigawatts in the first half of 2024. So, province of Ontario, the total generating capacity in the province of Ontario is nominally 20,000 megawatts. It's not 20,000 megawatts, but it's more or less 20,000 megawatts. It's close enough, okay? I think depending upon where you look, it's like 14.8 14,000 megawatts, 14.8 gigawatts. Number goes up and down a little bit, but that's the kind of number that we're looking at. So the United States in 6 months managed to add basically all the generating capacity in the province of Ontario. They've increased their capacity by that. And to say they did it in 6 months, that's not true, because the little nuclear plant, well, that took 20 years. Okay, my name's Bruce. This is my channel. Please subscribe. The videos. I had some criticism from a neighbor of all things who said, you know, those videos you make, they should be better. I'm like, yeah, you know that bank account I have, it should have more money in it. Anyway, thank you very much. If you could subscribe, that'd be wonderful. It's still raining. This was kind of important to me. Okay, bye.